Hello and welcome back to Bookmark Chronicles. Today we're doing a tag. I was tagged by Erica, a clean read mom, to do the book addiction tag. This tag was originally created by Steph over at Steph's Romance Book Talk. I will leave both of their channels linked in the description below. Before we get into the tag though, I do want to quickly unbox my March Sips by box. So the first tea that I have today is the Organic Honey Vanilla Moringa Tea by Miracle Tree. I've definitely had a tea by this brand before. I think it was mint though. It's caffeine free, but I do like the combination of honey and vanilla. One of my favorite teas is by Celestial and it's honey vanilla chamomile. So I anticipate that this will be a favorite. The next tea that I have is Rose Apricot Nectar by Tiny Bee Tea. I've never heard of this brand before, but I think the packaging is really cute. I'm a little nervous about this one because it has apricot in it, which I'm not a huge fan of, but it also has red rose, apple, and papaya. So hopefully those will make it better. It's also a loose leaf, which I'm excited about, but this is a really interesting flavor combination, so we'll see how it goes. Next, I have Nepali Breakfast by Nepal Tea. Have not heard of this brand before, but very excited to try it. It's a spiced black tea, so I feel like this could perhaps be a combination of chai and a English breakfast tea, possibly. Not sure, but I'm really excited to try it. It's high caffeine and it's loose leaf, and we know I love that, so we'll see how that one is. And the last tea that I have is Lavender Earl Grey by Rainy Day Tea Company. Have not heard of this company either, but I really love Earl Grey, especially when there's lavender in it. We'll be making a London fog with this, and it's high caffeine and loose leaf, so I'm excited to try all of these. Once again, if you ever wonder how I end up liking the teas that I unbox, I do have a highlight of all of them on my Instagram page, which is linked below. Okay, now for the tag questions. First question is, what is the longest amount of time that you can comfortably go without picking up a book? I think for me, if I'm not busy, only maybe a day or two. When I'm really busy and I have a lot going on with work and school, family, and just other stuff, then I may go up to a week, but that's not likely. So in general, I would just say probably about 2 days at the most. I will say though that once I was in a slump for about a month, but that's the longest my slumps have ever been. So hopefully no more than that. Question number 2 is, how many books do you carry on your person, physical or device, at any one time? I would say at least 2. I am most likely reading both a physical book and an audiobook. Now that I'm going back into the office a couple days a week, I save audiobooks for my commute. And then when I'm on my lunch break, I will read a physical book. Plus when I'm home, I'll do both really. I'll either take time to sit down and read, or if I'm doing other things around the house, like washing dishes, I'll be listening to an audiobook. Question number 3 is, do you keep every book that you buy or receive, or are you happy to pass them on to make space for more? I definitely don't keep every book that I have. If I buy or borrow something and I don't like it, I'm not going to keep it because I don't want it on my shelves. So for books that I don't like, I will typically unhaul them, donate them to either a local library for their library sales or to a local bookshop for them to resell. Question 4 is, how long do you spend in a bookshop on a standard visit? Now, I'm going to talk about this pre-COVID time, obviously. So honestly, I don't even know, because I could be there for hours, to be honest. Especially like bigger bookstores that have like a little cafe in them or something, can be there for days. But yeah, if I'm by myself, I'll probably spend about 30 to 45 minutes just browsing and like seeing what they have available. And then if there's a cafe, I will definitely go get like a little hot drink and a treat and read there for a little while. But it's been a long time since I've done that, so probably a couple of hours though. Question number 5 is, how much time do you actually spend per day reading? So for me, it really depends on the day. If I'm going into the office, I will be listening to an audiobook on my commute to and from work. So that's about 25 minutes each way. So that's close to an hour. Then I read on my lunch break, so that's a total of almost 2 hours. And then when I come home, I'll probably read anywhere from 30 minutes to 2.5 hours or so. So it really just depends on the day, but it can be anywhere from 30 minutes to maybe 3 hours. Question number 6 is, where does the task picking up a book appear on your daily to-do list? On a weekday, it's later down the line, somewhere in the afternoon, because I have work obviously and school, so I'll get whatever I can done for work as soon as possible. I typically like to do my schoolwork as soon as our classes open up. So one of my classes usually opens on Monday or Tuesday and the other one is on Tuesday or Wednesday. So I'll get that done early in the week so I can spend more time later in the week reading. Probably not until the afternoon or after work for most weekdays because I have other things that I need to get done. Question number 7 is, how many books do you reckon you own in total, including ebooks? So after my birthday book haul, I did count how many books I had, and I was at about 170 physical. I know I said I wasn't gonna buy any more books after that, but I lied because I don't really see the point, honestly. So I have picked up a few more books since then. I also do have a good amount of Kindle books. So if I were going to count all of them, I'd probably say that I'd be maybe right under 200. Question number 8 is, approximately how often do you bring up books in conversation? Honestly, not that often because I don't have a lot of people in real life that read. So if I'm talking about books, it's most likely on the internet. Question number 9 is, what is the biggest book that you have finished reading? Have finished? I have a lot of big books that I haven't finished. I think this is the biggest of the trilogy. So we'll go with Gemina, the second book in the Illuminae Files trilogy, and it is 659 pages. Question 10 is there a book that you had to get your hands on against all odds, search bookstores online, and stalk the author? I did not stalk the author for this book. However, it took me forever to get Legendborn. First of all, I really wanted it because look at the cover. Also, I've heard such great things about it. I still have not started it. I'm a little upset about this annoying ass sticker, but whatever. But when I did my birthday book haul, it was one of the books that I had on my list, and I went to my bookstore and they did not have it. So I was like, oh, well, I'm not gonna buy any more books, so I'll just have to wait. And then I was like, you know what, F this, I'm gonna start buying books. I finally went to order it, and for some reason, I think it was out of stock. And then it finally shipped, and it got delayed in the process. And then it finally freaking got here like 2 weeks later. So it literally took me 3 months to get this book. And I anticipate that it's gonna be worth it, so it's okay. Question number 11 is there a book that you struggled to finish because you refused to DNF? Unfortunately, it was Maybe Now by Colleen Hoover because I wanted to do a drunk book review of it. Within that review, I almost drank an entire bottle of wine by myself because that's how bad it was. I was pretty much taking a sip anytime that something cringy or gross happened. So that was fun. But yeah, it definitely was not fun to read, but it was fun to film the review. So it was worth it. I would also say the same thing about You Were There Too and In 5 Years. Both of those I anticipated being good, and I really needed to know how they ended. Both of them were trash. I think I rated both of them like 2 stars. Question number 12 is, what are some of your book goals for 2021? So I did do an entire video on this, so I will link that in the cards and the description below. But for the most part, it was just keeping up with my current schedule, which is posting 2 times a week, doing more book reviews, and yeah, just continuing to make content that I enjoy, because that's why I do this, because it's fun. Question 13, have you ever had the privilege of converting someone into a reader? Technically, yes. I think I've definitely gotten my boyfriend back into reading. I made him set a yearly goal this year. He doesn't know that's going to be a yearly thing, but he'll figure it out eventually. Also, I kind of rekindled the flame for my friend Mary. She's been reading a lot more, and she bought Raybearer because I was gushing about it, and I'm so excited to know what she thinks about it. I hope she loves it as much as I do. I will feel really bad if she doesn't. I will also be a little mad at her for not liking it because that book is incredible. But I'm definitely excited to see more of what she's reading. And a lot of my friends, just in general, friends from high school, have been asking for recommendations or saying, hey, I bought this, have you heard of it? And so I would say yes. And the last question is, describe what books mean to you in 5 words. I guess I would say books are my happy place. If I'm bored and I need something to do, I can read. If I need to relax, I can read. I mean, there's just so many books, so many genres, so many possibilities with what you can read. So, and for people who say reading is boring, you obviously have not read the right book. Just throwing that out there. So I'm not gonna tell anyone this time, but if you see this and you want to do it, absolutely feel free. That's all I have for you today, and I'll see you in the next video.